Being frugal is the cornerstone of wealth building, a self-made millionaire's wisdom. This powerful statement captures the essence of our journey. It's not just about how much you earn, but how wisely you manage your money. In this series, we'll uncover the habits and strategies that have propelled ordinary people into the ranks of millionaires. We're not talking about inheritances or lottery wins, but hard-earned, smartly saved, and wisely invested money. Get ready to transform your financial habits and mindset. Each chapter is packed with practical advice, real-life examples, and actionable steps to help you on your path to financial freedom. So, are you ready to live like a millionaire next door? Let's get started. Understanding wealth accumulation. Welcome to our journey into the world of smart finance. Today, we're diving into the first chapter of our series, inspired by the insightful book, The Millionaire Next Door, by Thomas J. Stanley. This chapter is all about understanding wealth accumulation. Let's break it down into simple, easy-to-understand concepts. First off, let's talk about what wealth really means. It's not just about earning a lot of money. It's about how much of that money you keep and grow. The book introduces a simple formula for wealth. Wealth equals income times savings rate times time. It means that your wealth depends on how much you earn, how much you save, and how long you save for. Now let's bust a myth. Many people think millionaires live in huge houses and drive fancy cars, but that's not always true. The book shows us that many real millionaires live quite simply. They don't spend all their money on flashy things. Instead, they save and invest wisely. The book is full of stories about real people. These aren't celebrities or lottery winners. They're ordinary folks who became millionaires by living below their means. One story is about a teacher who never earned a huge salary, but by saving consistently, she retired comfortably as a millionaire. This brings us to an important point. It's not just about how much you earn, it's about how much you save. You could be earning less than someone else, but end up richer if you save more. It's all about being smart with your money. Let's talk about income. It's the first part of the wealth equation, but more income doesn't automatically mean more wealth. It's what you do with that income that counts. If you spend it all, you're not getting richer, no matter how much you earn. Saving is the second key part. It's about setting aside a portion of your income. Think of it as paying yourself first. Even if it's just a small amount, it adds up over time. And that's where the third part, time, comes into play. Time is your best friend when it comes to building wealth. Thanks to compound interest, the money you save grows over the years. Even small amounts can turn into a big sum over a long period. It's like planting a seed and watching it grow into a tree. So, how do millionaires save? They live below their means. This means they spend less than they earn. They don't waste money on things they don't need. Instead, they focus on saving and investing their money. Investing is another key to growing your wealth. It's not just about saving money in a bank. It's about putting that money to work. The book shows that millionaires often invest in stocks, real estate, and their own businesses. Lastly, let's remember that building wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. It takes patience and discipline. You won't become a millionaire overnight, but by following these principles, you can build a solid financial foundation for your future. 2. The art of budgeting wisely. First things first, what is budgeting? Simply put, it's planning how to spend your money. Budgeting helps you make sure you have enough money for the things you need and the things that are important to you. It's a way to keep track of your spending and saving. Why is budgeting so important? Well, it's a common trait among millionaires, as the book shows. They know exactly where their money goes. This helps them avoid wasting money on unnecessary things. It also helps them save and invest more. There are different ways to budget. One popular method is the envelope system. You put cash in different envelopes for different expenses like groceries or rent. When an envelope is empty, you stop spending in that category. It's a simple but effective way to control your spending. Another method is the 50-30-20 rule. It's a bit more flexible. You spend 50% of your income on needs like bills and groceries. 30% goes to wants like eating out or hobbies. The last 20% goes to savings and paying off debts. Tracking your expenses is key to successful budgeting. It means writing down everything you spend money on. This might seem like a lot of work, but it's really eye-opening. You'll see where your money goes and where you can cut back. Let's take a real-life example from the book. There's a story about a couple who thought they were doing okay financially, but when they started tracking their expenses, they were shocked. They were spending way more on eating out and shopping than they thought. This brings us to the next point, understanding your spending patterns. When you track your expenses, you learn about your spending habits. Maybe you're spending a lot on things that aren't that important to you. This insight can help you make better spending choices. Budgeting also helps you set and reach financial goals. Maybe you want to save for a vacation, a new car, or retirement. With a budget, you can plan how to save enough money to reach these goals. Remember, budgeting doesn't mean you can't have fun or enjoy life. It's about making sure you have money for both fun and important things. It's about balance. One thing millionaires understand well is the difference between being cheap and being frugal. Being frugal means being smart with your money. It doesn't mean you never spend money on fun things. It means you spend money wisely. In the book, there's a story about a millionaire who drives an older car. He could afford a fancy new one, but he chooses not to. Why? Because he knows a new car loses value quickly. He'd rather invest his money in something that grows in value. So how can you start budgeting? Begin by looking at your income and expenses. Figure out where your money is going. Set some goals for saving and spending. Then choose a budgeting method that works for you. Finally, remember that budgeting is a habit. It takes time to get used to, but once you do, it can really help you build and maintain wealth. 3. Frugal living, a millionaire's secret. First, let's define frugality. It's about being economical and avoiding waste, but it's not about being cheap. Frugal people value quality over quantity. They spend money wisely and don't waste it on things that don't matter to them. Frugal living starts with understanding the difference between wants and needs. Needs are things you must have to live, like food and shelter. Wants are things that are nice to have, but not necessary, like the latest smartphone or designer clothes. One key to frugal living is to focus on needs and be very thoughtful about wants. This doesn't mean never buying things you want. It means thinking carefully about each purchase and deciding if it's really worth it. A great example from the book is about a millionaire who buys clothes on sale. He doesn't need expensive designer clothes to feel successful. He knows that a shirt on sale serves the same purpose as a pricey one. Another aspect of frugal living is looking for ways to save on everyday expenses. This could mean using coupons, shopping for sales, or comparing prices before buying. Small savings can add up to a lot over time. Frugal people often do things themselves instead of paying others. This could be home repairs, gardening, or car maintenance. Learning these skills can save a lot of money and be quite satisfying too. Frugal living also means being careful with utilities. Turning off lights when leaving a room, using water wisely, and setting the thermostat to a reasonable temperature can reduce bills significantly. Cooking at home is another big part of frugal living. Eating out can be expensive. Preparing meals at home is not only cheaper, but often healthier too. Plus, it can be fun and rewarding. Another frugal habit is to avoid impulse buys. This means thinking before you buy. Ask yourself if you really need the item or if it's just a spur-of-the-moment desire. Frugal living doesn't mean you never enjoy life. In fact, it can lead to more enjoyment. You learn to appreciate simple pleasures like a walk in the park or a homemade meal. It's also about making smart choices. For example, buying a used car instead of a new one. Cars lose value quickly, so a used car can be a much better deal. The book talks about millionaires who live in modest homes. They could afford bigger, but they choose not to. A smaller home means lower bills and less temptation to fill it with stuff. Living frugally can also mean choosing experiences over things. Memories from a family trip can be more valuable than the latest gadget. Frugal living is a mindset. It's about valuing what you have and finding happiness in simplicity. It's not about deprivation. It's about making smart choices that lead to a richer life. 4. Smart investing and avoiding debt. Investing wisely is a hallmark of most millionaires. It's not just about saving money, it's about making that money grow. Investing can seem complex, but it doesn't have to be. The key is to start simple and learn as you go. First, let's talk about the basics of investing. It's about putting your money in things that can increase in value over time. This could be stocks, bonds, real estate, or even your own business. One important thing to remember is diversification. It means not putting all your eggs in one basket. By spreading your investments, you reduce the risk of losing everything if one investment goes bad. Start with small investments. You don't need a lot of money to start investing. There are many options available today, like online platforms that allow you to start with a small amount. Be patient with your investments. Wealth building is a long-term game. It's not about getting rich quick. It's about steady growth over time. Now let's talk about debt. Debt can be a huge obstacle in building wealth. High-interest debt, like credit card debt, can be especially harmful. It can eat away at your ability to save and invest. The book shows that many millionaires avoid debt. They use credit cards wisely or not at all. They also pay off their debts as soon as possible. One strategy is to focus on paying off high-interest debt first. This can save you a lot of money in interest over time. Another key is to live within your means. This prevents you from falling into debt in the first place. If you spend less than you earn, you won't need to rely on credit cards and loans. It's also important to have an emergency fund. This is money set aside for unexpected expenses. It can prevent you from going into debt when something unexpected happens. Investing and debt management go hand in hand. By managing your debt, you free up more money to invest. And by investing wisely, you can build the wealth that makes debt less necessary. Let's look at a real-life example from the book. There's a story about a couple who paid off their mortgage early. They then used the money they saved on mortgage payments to invest. This helped them build significant wealth over time. Remember, investing and avoiding debt are skills. They take time to develop. Start small, learn as you go, and be patient. 5. Building and sustaining wealth. First, creating a financial plan is crucial. It's like a roadmap for your money. This plan should include your goals like buying a home, retiring comfortably, or funding your children's education. With a plan, you know where you're going and how to get there. Start by setting clear, achievable goals. Be specific. Instead of saying, I want to save money, say, I want to save $10,000 for an emergency fund. This clarity helps you focus and stay motivated. Next, let's talk about budgeting. Yes, we've covered this before, but it's so important. A budget keeps you on track with your financial plan. It helps you manage your money effectively and avoid overspending. Saving consistently is another key part of building wealth. It doesn't matter how much you save as long as you do it regularly. Even small amounts add up over time, especially with compound interest. Investing wisely is also crucial. Remember, the goal is to grow your wealth. This means investing in stocks, bonds, real estate, or other vehicles that offer a good return on investment. Diversification is important in investing. Don't put all your money in one place. Spread it out to reduce risk. This way, if one investment performs poorly, the others can balance it out. Risk management is another important aspect. Understand your risk tolerance and invest accordingly. If you're risk-averse, consider safer investments like bonds. If you can handle more risk, stocks might be a good option. Avoiding debt is just as important as investing. Remember, debt can eat away at your wealth. Pay off high-interest debts as quickly as possible and try to avoid new debts. Regularly review your financial plan and investments. Life changes and so should your plan. Maybe you get a new job, have a child, or face an unexpected expense. Adjust your plan to fit your current situation. Now let's talk about sustaining your wealth. It's not just about building it, it's about keeping it and growing it over time. One way to sustain wealth is to live below your means, even as your income increases. Resist lifestyle inflation where you spend more as you earn more. Stay frugal and focus on your long-term goals. Keep learning about personal finance and investing. The more you know, the better decisions you'll make. Read books, follow finance blogs, or even take courses. Teach your children or younger family members about managing money. This helps them and ensures your family continues to build and maintain wealth for generations. Remember, building and sustaining wealth is a lifelong journey. It takes patience, discipline, and commitment, but it's worth it. You'll have financial security and the freedom to live the life you want.